Sirius XM hits one. Hi, I'm Mikey Piff, and I'm so excited because I feel like post-pandemic, like we're just kind of like re-meeting people for the first time, but this is actually the first time that I get to meet Melanie Martinez.
Thanks for having me.
No, I mean, gosh, again, post-pandemic, I feel like we're kind of reintroducing ourselves to people in some way, because there's so many people that, at least from following you, that I think have been introduced to you through that, especially because you released the K through 12 movie like right before it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I mean, it's got, I think, like 120, 130 million views on YouTube.
Yeah.
For those that need to be indoctrinated, right now, the current album is Portals. The song we're playing is Void. And it's part of a trilogy. So can you kind of just lightly walk us through it?
Yeah, so Crybaby was the introduction to the character, and just discussing her childhood, I guess you can say, and just different themes from childhood is very inspired by, just like, I guess, either my own and other stories of different people's childhoods kind of blend together to create this full project of this, character's story. And then K through 12 was, a lot of it was based on my schooling experience, like being bullied in school. So yeah, it's like a mix between real life experiences as well as storytelling to create this character, Crybaby. And it's her journey throughout those net portals. I've killed the character off and showing her immortality by showing that it's the same soul, just a different vessel. So this is her in a new, a new space, a new vessel. So.
And you already had this idea planned out like the whole time, which blows my mind, because whenever somebody goes to do an album, they're kind of starting from fresh and like at that moment thinking of what it's going to be. But you, since 2015, like before 2015 when Crybaby came out, you already had this entire idea?
Yeah, so I had K through 12 planned out already when I was writing Crybaby, and then while I was writing K through 12, and actually while I was on tour for K through 12, right before the pandemic hit, I was reading a lot of past life regression therapy books, like hypnotherapy, and it was all about like the afterlife and kind of the in-between life before people got reincarnated into their next life, and I was really inspired by that, so I read a bunch of books and kind of found this like thorough, fun like storyline from death all the way to birth, and created portals that way. So that's why it goes from death all the way to womb. And there's different phases that are all reflective of different things I've read in a lot of hypnotherapy books. I've also been under it as well, which was really a cool experience. It's very meditative, and you just see a visual picture of, you can see it really clearly, at least for me. I know a lot of people are like this, where you can see like what you looked like, the house you lived in, very specific life events that were, kind of crucial to your growth as a person. And it feels like a flashback, like a memory in time. You're just kind of going back and seeing these impactful life moments and how they shaped you, and you can kind of relate it to your current life as well, which is interesting.
Well, we're going to talk more about it, but let's talk about Void, because one, you were nice enough to perform it live for us, but two, this is, am I correct in saying it's the first song you wrote and produced?
So Death, actually, I it's both Death and Void, Light Shower. I mean, there's a few, like a lot of most of the time I write everything pretty much myself, just all the lyric and melody, like from Crybaby, K through 12, Portals, like I'm just very much, I love putting my all into lyric and melody, but this is the first time I actually sat down and, produced by myself with Void, and without anyone else help, without anyone's help, which is a huge deal for me, because I was usually, kind of scared to do that, I guess. I don't know, I just thought that maybe I wasn't going to be good at it or something.
You've come up with these characters, you're in charge of all the visuals and the videos, and don't be silly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, sometimes you get in your head, and I respect a lot of producers I work with and think they're so incredible. I worked with CJ Barron on a lot of the album as well. He's like my favorite collaborator in the world. He's just, the best, and we make such fun stuff together, and he's great to like experiment with like different ideas and whatnot. So he's been like a huge support for me this whole album process, and he actually really encouraged me to like produce myself as well. He's like the first producer that sat down with me and was like, listen, like, you are, like, basically telling me exactly what it is that you want. You're sitting with me in every single, like, second of this to create this. You know exactly what it is that you want, what instruments, and you deserve production credit. And that made me, like, cry, because, like, I worked with so many producers who, like, I would literally just direct the whole session, and no one would ever suggest even giving me any production credit, even though I was, like, really involved with every detail, like I am with everything else. And CJ was, like, the first person to be like, I really believe in you, and I really want to see you continue this journey. And it was really impactful for me.
I mean, someone's got to start it, right?
No, totally. It's great. CJ Barron, man, like one of the greatest. Makes me emotional. He knows how much I love him. He's like so incredible.
Before we play the live version of Void that you were gracious enough to cut here in our Fishbowl studio, what is the song about?
So Void is about dealing with anxiety. I have very intense anxiety. Even right now I have anxiety, just, sitting down with new people, always talking about my art and my music. It's always so personal. And so Void was just an expression of that feeling, and it felt very cathartic to write about that, because I had never had a song where I was just talking about my own personal, like, really raw, like, experience with something. Everything was always like a blend of different things, like, like had a lot of triple meaning, double meaning, but this song was very much about just like my struggle with anxiety. And it's cool to see people's reactions to it, and how they're resonating with it as well. It's amazing that people feel so strongly about this song.
Sirius XM Hits 1. Hi, it's Mikey Piff back with Melanie Martinez. It was so fun to get to, even though before you're here, get to know you, but also just following you since The Voice, and creating this first two albums before the pandemic, and now this whole new era where I could honestly say, like, when I was going through, who you were and everything you created, the first thing that came to my mind was, we live in a world that celebrates but also punishes creativity. And you've been fortunate enough to have people really back you and celebrate your creativity and support you. So can you kind of walk us through to get to this point? I mean, did you have to convince some people?
I guess, there's so many different things that I'm involved with, right? Like music videos, I direct all my videos. Music has always been supported by the label, and, my audience, everyone has been always so supportive about music. But with music videos, particularly the visual side of things, it's been a struggle to, it's hard. Usually labels only allow you to have 2 music videos per album cycle, which I don't think a lot of people know that, but it's like usually just like the singles. And with me, when I first signed with Atlantic, I was like, hey, I want a video for every song. And they were like, you're crazy. Like, that's not going to happen. We're not going to give you a budget for every single video. Like, and I just kept sending them video treatments and was like, hey, I really want to make this. And they were like, we already made the videos for 2 of the songs. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to, like, make a video with my friend and put it out. And it had, even just something as small as that, had so much of a reaction online that they noticed how valuable it was to have the visuals alongside my music, and how it really did kind of put the bigger picture together for people. And so they kept, accepting more and more video treatments from me. I would send another one, and we were able to shoot that and that. And, I was directing all of them as well. And even doing that, it's hard, because a lot of people are like, you're an artist, you're not a director, be this or be that. And it's hard to stand in your power on set, especially as like a femme presenting, artist. It's hard. A lot of people just look at me as like, oh, it's the talent, even though I'm the one who's creating all the set design, hair, makeup, everything goes through me, like lighting, it's literally like every detail of I do costume design. I'm very passionate about creating visuals and creating music and making them come together to tell this story. And so the label just kept supporting me through that, and I'm grateful to be here now with Portals. And I'm hoping to again make a video for every song on this album, like I did with K-12 and like I did with Crybaby. It's a journey, but it's a lot of constant work, and sleepless nights just trying to get the vision out there.
We've all got to prove some people wrong, or at least prove the value, our mind, our worth, our art, whatever.
Any like young creatives out there who are like just starting out and getting discouraged from people just being like, oh, like it's too this or it's too that. Just don't listen to anyone and just keep creating what you're passionate about, and just keep putting the work in, because I promise it's worth it. I just want to say that because I wish someone told me that when I was younger, going through all that.
Hits One on Sirius XM. I'm Mikey Piff here with the incredibly talented Melanie Martinez, and let's talk about tour. Because, you're lucky enough to come visit us while you're in New York. Thank you so much for taking the time. And you are in your full outfit. That give us just a little bit of the layer, because, art is pain, and it takes probably time to put your outfit on.
I mean, yeah, to get into character, it takes a little bit, but we found a system that works for tour. Originally, like in the South America tour, we were doing full prosthetics, which took like 2 hours to sit through for just the face, and then I was doing body paint, which is like sometimes 4 to 6 hours, which is a whole thing. So we shortened it actually to a really good time. Now we just do a half mask and some body paint on the cheeks and the chin and the neck, and put on the outfit and go.
So how did you come up with this particular character? Because obviously it's incredibly unique in your vision.
I was just drawing it for a long time, and one day I was like, you know what? It might be really cool to just fully commit to this. And, part of me also selfishly was like, I don't want to be perceived. I kind of like just being able to be in this character, and it helps on stage, when you have any kind of stage fright or anxiety, you can kind of just go into this mode. And kind of be this other creature, and it's fun. It's really fun for me. I enjoy it.
So once you finish this tour, which you've still got a little bit to go, do you go into a little bit of a hibernation? Do you already know what's next since you planned so far ahead?
Yes. So after this leg of the tour, I will be shooting music videos. I'm trying to shoot as many as possible. Ideally for me, shooting all 11 of them together in these 3 months before I go back out on tour would be nice, because then I can take time to edit them and kind of roll them out. That's my plan. I'm hoping to achieve that. End of next year will be the time where I'm like, okay, now I'm like off cycle again, and I can just chill and make music and make sculptures and paint and just create, hang out with my dogs. I take a long time to create my projects, so I'll usually have 4 years where I'm just kind of MIA, not anywhere to be found, just literally at my house making art. So,
which is also cool. That doesn't happen anymore. Everyone's constantly trying to make stuff. So
I think it's good to be patient and take time with yourself, and art doesn't just come out of nowhere. It really is something that you have to sit down with and really make sure you're going to be proud of it. It's forever out there. You put out a music video, put out a song, it's there forever. So gotta make sure you're really proud of it.
Maybe the fans will be wondering, but do you even know what's next?
I'm definitely starting something new. I have a few ideas, but what I think I'm gonna do is just sit with it and just write music and see which idea feels the most aligned with where I'm at, end of next year or so. So we'll see how I'm feeling when I'm starting to create new stuff. Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for sitting and hanging out with us. Congrats on everything, and good luck with the rest of the tour. And I'm excited for the fans to see your visions come to life.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks, guys.